Hi, my name is Erin Schwartzendruber, and I'm a graduate student in education at Morningside College. I'm currently in my third year of teaching fourth grade in the Clear Creek Amana School District. I am presenting my research on the effect of using multiplication fact board games on multiplication fact fluency in fourth grade students. When students are not automatic with their basic facts, they are overusing their working memory. This prevents them from solving more complex math skills. Results from the National Assessment of Educational Progress, NAEP, verified that 61% of fourth grade students and 68% of eighth grade students were not proficient in grade level math skills. The National Center for Education Statistics, NCES, looked at 15-year-olds in mathematics, and 36 education systems were found to score higher on mathematics assessments than the United States. Also, enjoyment of mathematics is low. Nationally, an average of 1/4 of students enjoy learning math. 42% of students somewhat enjoy math, and about 31% of students do not like learning math. The dropout rate has also increased because of the increased demands on students. The dropout rate has increased from 8.6% to 11.4% because students are often ill-equipped to handle the challenges that math and science curricula bring. I'm doing this study because a lack of basic fact fluency causes an inefficiency when solving more challenging math problems. Fourth graders need to solve up to 2x2 digit multiplication problems as well as 4x1 division problems, and basic facts are so crucial to solve those. And then I also needed engaging ways to build fact automaticity. When students are automatic with their basic facts, they have less anxiety in math because they only have to worry about the new skills they're learning instead of both the how to solve the basic facts and the new concepts. They're also highly engaged when they enjoy math. It comes more naturally to them and they have a good understanding. And then there's also an increased learning of new math skills because they already understand the basics. There's been a lot of past research on fact fluency. If students have a conceptual understanding of their basic facts, they're more likely to generalize other math skills because they see how it all connects together. One intervention was done using flashcards where competing answers were given to students, both right and wrong answers. The wrong answers were common errors that students are found to make while solving basic facts. A strategic training program was also used to develop basic fact strategies. This was proved to increase accuracy but not problem-solving capabilities. And then finally, it was found that increased repetitions are necessary when math skill level is low. There's been past research on game-based learning as well. Games are said to increase motivation for learning, in addition to improving the confidence in students because they feel good about winning the games. They feel good about solving basic facts with their peers, and so then they're able to apply that to new math skills that they're learning. And then also mathematical understanding. They're communicating about the strategies they're using with their peers, and that deepens their knowledge. Denham 2013 conducted a study on digital games. It was found that these digital games increased fluency but did not develop a conceptual understanding. He was looking at teaching multiplicative properties combined with time drills. So students were playing games that as they got to higher levels, the games got more challenging and there was less time to solve the problems. There was also a strategy component where students could stop and pause the game, click on a strategy card that would talk about a good strategy to use for the multiplication fact. And then finally, it was proven that games provide uncertainty in learning. The gap in the research was that research is focused mainly on technology, digital games, strategy instruction, and fact recall programs. However, research is not focused on multiplication fact board games and how they impact fourth grade students in their fluency. The purpose of the study was to see if multiplication fact board games impact multiplication fact fluency among fourth grade students. If this study is proven to be successful, teachers would have a way to improve multiplication fact fluency in an engaging way. In addition, if board games improve multiplication fact fluency, they might have an impact on other areas of instruction as well, such as reading, writing, social studies, science. It was hypothesized that playing multiplication fact board games would increase multiplication fact fluency among fourth grade students. The variables in the study included the independent variable, which is multiplication fact board games, and it was looked to see what the independent variable's effect on the dependent variable, which is multiplication fact fluency. This was an A-B research design where A was the control phase and B was the treatment phase. The participants in the study included 14 fourth grade participants. 50% of the participants were girls and 50% were boys. There were 2 special education participants. One had an academic IEP and another had a behavioral IEP. And one student was in the extended learning program. All participants identified as Caucasian. The materials that were required were the Go Math fourth grade curriculum materials, which was used throughout the entirety of the 12-week study. Computers were also necessary in order to give the FastBridge CBM automaticity assessment through fastbridge.org. And then finally, multiplication fact board games that were purchased. These were put on cardstock laminated, and then game pieces and dice if they were necessary for the games. The procedure was 4 15-minute sessions per week, which is when the games were played. The participants rotated to a new game every 2 days to maintain interest. And the partners were assigned based on their pre-test scores using the CBM automaticity assessment. The data was analyzed using the CBM FastBridge automaticity assessment, which monitored fact fluency. A pre-test was given, a mid-test was given, and a post-test was given. The scores were analyzed using a within-group paired samples t-test because the participants were compared to themselves, and the results were analyzed after the 12-week study. Reliability and validity of the CBM FastBridge automaticity assessment was the reliability was 0.93 for fourth grade and ranged from 0.90 to 0.96 for first through 8th grade students. The validity ranged from 0.41 to 0.60 for grades 1 through 3. There was an increase in scores after both phases. However, there was a higher increase after the control phase and the treatment phase. The baseline pretest mean was 49.07, the mid-test mean was 98.36, and the treatment phase mean was 115.43. Therefore, the hypothesis cannot be confirmed because although the scores increased, they increased by a greater margin after the control phase, so it cannot be said that the board games were the sole reason for the increase in scores. This table shows the effect of games on multiplication fact fluency. This figure shows mean scores from the control phase to the treatment phase. You can see that there is a greater increase from the control phase to the mid-test compared to the mid-test and the treatment phase. There are a couple connections to past research. Math skill level relates to the number of repetitions necessary to master basic facts, and students who were labeled at a frustrational level did not improve as much as students who were at a higher math level. When looking at the scores, the students in the current study who were at a lower math level did not improve their scores as drastically as those who were close to proficient, if not already proficient. The ARCS model of motivational design was used to support this current study. 4 things are required under this theory in order to create motivated learners: attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. And games relate to all 4 aspects that are necessary in order to create motivated learners. Games require that students pay close attention to what their opponents are doing in order to win. The instructional games are also relevant to what the students are learning. Confidence is built because students are able to talk about those strategies with their peers, and then also they have more success in other areas of math. And then satisfaction comes when students are able to win the game. There are implications on the participants. Math talk is developed because students are constantly talking about the ways that they're solving the problem. There's high student engagement because they're interested in the game they're playing. If basic fact fluency is achieved and their working memory is more available to solve more challenging math concepts. And then there are fact strategy discussions between students so they can learn from each other. There are also implications on educators. Educators can focus on teaching more complex skills if automaticity is reached. Playing board games can support the grade level standards and further or increase the number of proficient students. There's high student engagement, and it only takes a small amount of instructional time to play board games. And finally, all students are able to participate and learn from the games. There were limitations in the study, such as length of time. There were only 15 minutes each day that was allowed for playing the board games. Sometimes participants could not get far in the game because they came into the classroom late, or there were other factors prohibiting them from starting the game on time. Non-proficient students sometimes get stuck on solving facts, so this prohibited the rest of the group members from getting more repetitions. And the study was only 12 weeks long. There's also a small sample size, 14 participants, and all participants were in one fourth grade class. The level of previous mastery that students have when coming into fourth grade limited the potential for success in this study. Multiplication facts are part of a third grade standard, and some students, when they come to fourth grade, still require explicit instruction of those facts to develop that conceptual understanding. Mastery is really important to have before moving on to more complex skills. There are also external influences that could affect this study. Parental involvement and exposure. Some students have adults at home to help them practice their math facts, and others don't. Past experiences with math is a big factor because some have very positive experiences and some have more negative. And some students have opportunities to practice outside of the school day, such as technology or peers or adults at home to help them continue their understanding. There are a few recommendations for future research. The study should be conducted in the future over a longer period of time. We should also increase the number of participants so that we are able to generalize the results. There should be studies that focus on which board games are the best or are the most conducive for learning. And we should continue to study the impact of basic fact fluency on math proficiency. Here are my references. Thank you.